Okay, so now we need to do the face. So again, I'm pushing those brows forward, the beard right forward, just to have a look. And what we want to be doing is we need to be working from the corner of the eye, the back of the eye, to the corner of the back of the mouth here. These areas here on this side needs to be taken out. On the inner bit, this is where we blend them and we work some magic with them. Okay, what you don't want is for them to be dished out so it looks like they've got a moustache rather than a beard. It's not a full beard like you'd have on a Schnauzer, so you don't start it from the cheek, you start it from the corners of the eye and the mouth. You bring those in nice and tight. This is supposed to be a goatee beard, not a full-on beard, okay? So it's not like you do a Schnauzer, even to a degree you don't do as you do for the foxes and the Welsh along with the Airedale. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush back those eyebrows at the moment. I'm going to work on this little bit here on the side, so I'll show you here. I'm just going to take a little bit of weight out of the cheek. The way I do that is with the chalk. And then with my knife, this time, I'm combing it through. Okay, I'm just combing through that beard. And it's just taking little bits out just to take the weight out of the beard. And then here, I'm just going to blend that bit in. I'm going to just take that bit on that side before I go into in front of the eyes, and just, you see, just taking, Donna, I know sweetheart, it's a good girl, just taking the weight, nothing else. It's just, and literally it's just little bits, look, that are coming out. You don't want to take it all off, we're just taking the bulk of it off, the weight out of it, so it sits nicer and it looks more versatile. There you go. So you see the difference in that already. Now what we've got is this little bit here, it's like a chrysanthemum, isn't it? So this needs to come out. So again, I'm just going to brush my brows to the side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these little bits out and then work my way up through this is called the stop, and I'm just going to take that out here and work those way through. I'm going to start with the corner of the eyes and the front of the eyes first. With a little bit of chalk on my finger and thumb, I'm just going to pull a few hairs at a time just to clear that eye. I'm not clearing it here, I'm not taking the dent out, it's literally those bits at the front of the eye that are sticking up. Stay this side as well. Just take that rest of a bit out. Stay still. Good girl. Good girl. You go to see again. Those little bits there, and then I'm going to work my way in through here. But before I do that, I just almost like want to part it so I can keep an eye on where my brows are. So I'm going to chalk it on my finger and thumb, and I'm just going to take that hair out there, and that is going to give you the shape of your brows. And what I'm going to do is pull those forward. What we need to do is we need to be working around the back of the eyes now. So with my knife, I'm just going to pull the ear back, work in a semicircle around the back of the eye. In a semicircle around the back of the eye. So that way she's not going to have too much of a heavy brow. Okay, and then take those little bits there. What you're going to be doing is brushing them into a shape. The more you brush, then check. That way you know where everything's lying naturally, and you're not taking too much out in one or two areas. Now I take her eyelashes. Just take the eyelashes, don't pull all the rest of it out, and she'll have no eyebrow left. Now, take that bit there. Now this little bit here is quite puffy there, so I'm literally just going to take a tiny little bit off. Not much, just a tiny little bit to blend that in. There, that side as well. Just to blend it in. And this bit here, what you don't want is a parting going down the bridge of their muzzle, so you don't want that. So if you're taking that out and you're not taking anything off here, what you'll find is that you're taking it out here, and then that's where how you make that moustache looking. So that's always a mistake. So you just need to just take that out a little bit at a time. Again, it's just gently combing that over the beard. I do this with all of the bearded dogs, and then that way you've got more of a it just looks a lot nicer, a lot flatter, it sits better. Better appearance is the word, isn't it? There we go, stop. Stop. And if they're longer on here, you do the same with here. Instead of trimming it, you can take it out there as well. Now for the eyebrows. With her, I do trim her eyebrows. I pull a little bit out, but what I am going to do is I'm just going to trim those in with the scissors so that they're nice and straight. So I've got a real sharp finish on those. So with a pair of scissors, it's literally the tips that I'm taking. Sit nice and still. So I'm going at an angle, so I'm coming out from the front of the eye. I'm going to work my way into the back of the eye there, so it's going to be a point there, like so. And this bit here is the same. And then what I'm going to do with this little bit here is strip that off there. Exactly the same the other side. Then when you bring your brows down, you can see what needs to still be removed. They're not supposed to have heavy eyebrows. They're supposed to have little to none, so that they just give the appearance of an eyebrow. I personally do like to see a little bit of brow on them, but not silly amounts where you see some of them with really heavy brows. I think especially on a bitch, it's nice to see a little bit, because they can be quite a pretty little face otherwise, and it takes it away from the sharpness of the breed should be looking like. And there you have her head done there. And then with the last little bit that I'm going to do today is just her legs. Now her legs are quite long, longer than they should be. So all I'm going to do is go over with my knife and take the bulk out. And then in a couple of days time, I shall take a little bit more off her. She's had quite a lot to do today. Just take that little bit so that it blends this bit in, blends in there, and this bit here as well. All this back hair needs to come off, but I should say doing that on a different day. She's had enough now. I'm going to turn around. So you can see how wide this leg is to this leg. I've only taken a wee bit off this leg, but we just want to match this in. So I'm just going to just go down and take a little bit more. I'm going to blend it in here. If you've got a pet dog on the table, we strip as much as we can, but usually you just end up finishing it off with the little scissors or the clippers, and you just taking off the very tips of the hair just to give it a more even finish look. But you're not cutting into the coat, it's literally the very tips. Okay. So just take that off for me, Dana. Good girl. Okay. And there we go. Okay, and that for today for her would be enough. And say so next week we will do her legs properly. I'll show you how to trim the nails and how we're going to clip in between the pads as well. But for today, it's our little Dana looking a lot better than she did 2 hours ago. Good girl.